Ain't gonna let complications turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let complications turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, gonna build a brand new world. Turn me around, turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, gonna build a brand new world. Ain't gonna let my setbacks turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let no setbacks turn me around. Keep on walking, keep on talking, gonna build a brand new world. Turn me around, turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, gonna build a brand new world. A brand new world, a brand new world, a brand new world. Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning. We will be opening our service this morning with 2 songs. First up, How Can I Serve Today? Please stand and join us. And we'll follow that right away with We Can Be the Change. You should have lyrics for both of those songs.
And do you want to count it?
Yeah.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. How can I serve today, sweet Spirit? How can I serve today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. Who needs my love today, sweet Spirit? Who needs my love today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. Where must I serve today, sweet Spirit? Where must I serve today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. Where you lead me, I will go. And we can be the change. Go ahead, Marsha.
1,
2, 1, 2, 3, 4. One step, one act, it's a simple fact. We can be the change. Don't have to do it all, no steps too small. We can be the change. Be the change. We can be the change. Be the change. We can be the change. One heart, one voice,
it's a simple choice. We can be the change. When it calls to you and it's yours to do, we can be the change. Be the change. We can be the change. Be the change. We can be the change. Reach out your hand. Be the change. Be a part of the plan. Be the change. Put it into motion. Be the change. Like a ripple in the ocean. Be the change. Be the change. Be the change. We can 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 be the change. We can be the change. We can be the change.
In the beginning was the one presence of the undivided and unmanifest, pure spirit of life, light and love. In its generosity, it shared itself, its consciousness, and its love in the visible form of creation. We acknowledge this presence within us and as us. This creative energy of divine feminine and masculine expressing in all our giftedness and creativity. We acknowledge this in our companion Mother Earth in all sentient beings. This universal presence in everything we call the Christ. We light this candle as a visible reminder of the Christ presence expressing in, as, and through us in this present moment. It is the truth. Let us own it. Welcome. Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. I guess we're still in that phase, aren't we? Happy New Year, and good to see everyone. And it's going to be a really special morning this morning. The first thing I want to ask and make sure, did everybody get a stone? Does everybody have one? If you don't, we'll make sure that you get one, because this is going to be an important part of our morning. And let's see, if raise your hand if you don't have a stone, perhaps. I think everybody does, so that's good. If you don't, I believe they're out in the foyer. So, or in the back in the basket, yes. Okay, very good. So, welcome everyone, and at home, if you're watching, good morning. You can probably use, if you don't have a stone, you could go to the beach today or write on a piece of paper, so whatever works for you. It'll be fun. So let's take a few moments to greet one another. Do turn around and say hello to everybody online, but let's take a few moments to say hi. Oh, we're being so quiet and polite this morning. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I'd like to do our 5 principles. Well, first what I'm going to do is welcome everybody here to Unity and say that we are a joyful, evolving spiritual community, committed to spiritual practices, compassionate service, and living on purpose. This is our mission, and we'll own that. We want to welcome Quiet Fire this morning for our music ministry. And I'm Shari Humes. I'm your platform assistant. Thank you. Thank you. It's one of my joys in life, so thank you for this opportunity. So I'll do our 5 principles, and if you want to get centered as we get prepared to do that, get yourselves maybe feet on the floor and take a nice deep breath, gently releasing. And together, God is good and present in all things. The holiness of God is my own true nature. I am creating my experiences by how I think. My thinking is guided by my daily affirmative prayers and affirmative actions. I follow and am sustained by these values in every way, every day, and so it is. And now we'll have a song, and we'll prepare for time of reflection and meditation.
You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit within, and all we are, and all we do is a blessing to the world. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of spirit on earth, and all I am, and all I do is a blessing to the world, is a blessing to the world.
I invite you into a time of ease and relaxation. Let us begin by following our breath. Breathe in slowly. Hold for a second or two and then release. Follow this pattern for yourself. As you breathe and relax, your body thanks you. Your thoughts are softening. This is a beginning of the opening to hearing the still small voice within. Breathe in. Feel your mind calm. Feel your heart warm and expand. Breathe in. This is love, the feeling of oneness with all. One love, one mind. We are one. Feel the unity here and now. We are one. Source divine is love. We are one with divine love. With Spirit Divine, we are here to learn, experience, and create. With each breath, we have an opportunity to find the flow of creation within. Breathe in. Spirit gave us the gift of choice to choose an experience. Ask within, how do you choose to feel? How do you want to experience life? The still small voice within guides you. You have infinite potential. Spirit Divine asks, Dear one, how would you like to live? I am with you, loving you, each step you take. Breathe in. Spirit Divine is here to lovingly guide. One love, one mind, we are one. Here to learn, experience, and create. Breathe in. Listen. Feel. Your mind is calm, heart open, and ready to receive. Ready to receive new ideas, fun nudges of inspiration. This is the playground of life. Be willing to play with Source Divine. Breathe in. Resting our minds, feeling the warmth of breathing as one. One in spirit, one mind, one love. Feel the vast energy of possibilities that exist within each breath you take. And as we go forward, remember that each breath you take, you have the opportunity to find the flow of creation within. And so it is. Amen.
You with the sad eyes, don't be discouraged, oh I realize it's hard to take courage in a world full of people. You can lose sight of it all, and the darkness inside can make you feel so small.
And I see your true colors shining through. True colors, that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show. True colors, beautiful
like a rainbow. Show me a smile then. Don't be unhappy. I remember when I last saw you laughing. If this world makes you crazy and you've taken all you can bear, just call me up. You know I'll be there.
I see your true colors shining through. Your true colors, that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show. True colors are beautiful
like the rainbow.
People get ready, there's a train a-coming. Don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesels humming. Don't need a ticket, you just thank the Lord. Woo!
train to Jordan, picking up passengers from coast to coast. Faith is the key, open the doors and boredom. There's room for all among those who love the most. People get ready, there's a train a-coming. Don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesels humming. Don't need a ticket, you just thank the Lord. Don't need a ticket, you just thank the Lord. Don't need a ticket, you just thank the Lord.
Thank the Lord.
Thank you.
Thank you, Quiet Fire. Hi, for some, I see some new faces maybe. I'm Reverend Frank, if you haven't met me before. And today is our White Stone ceremony, which is our second time we've done it here. And if we've done it in the past, I don't know. But just a little piece about the White Stone so you know where we're going. I'm going to ask in a few minutes some people to come and share what they had on their White Stone last year and what it meant to them. And then we're going to, of course, I have some things to say. And then we're going to ask you, everyone should have a white stone, to put a word or words on the white stone. And you know that in Unity, this is a Unity thing. In Unity, spiritual centers across the nation do this white stone ceremony once a year, usually at the very start of the year. And the tradition is that in ancient times, and this was true in Rome as well, and you can see this in some of the literature, that if someone was, say, in prison or was found innocent at a trial or maybe even had been captured and was set free, part of what they would do is they'd give them a stone. It would be somehow chiseled or in some way that would show with a signature of a senator or some kind of official that this person is now free. And if someone saw them and said, wait, aren't you this criminal and you did this and this, they'd go, aha, white stone, I'm free. It was kind of a get out of jail card, or sometimes you read that it was called a medallion. Maybe they wore it, like on a chain or something. So what we're doing today is it's kind of a metaphor for what is it that maybe is as in Unity we would go, it's not that any kind of thing wrong or anything that we did. It's almost like I had this state of consciousness and I'm finding something new. I am letting go of a way I held things or I understood things or a sort of state of consciousness which maybe served me just fine before, but now I'm breaking through some liminal space. I'm stepping forward into a new awareness, a new awakening. I'm drawing attention to something new in my life, and that new thing is giving me new life and new inspiration and new joy and new passage into something new. And I saw a white stone. But didn't you used to think that way? I don't think anyway that more. White stone. I've moved. I've grown. I've evolved in my consciousness. I'm moving on in life into some new state of awakened awareness. And there's my white stone. And maybe through the year you can flash it at someone. I don't know, or just keep it in your pocket. I just keep mine on my desk. Whatever you want to do. But the important thing is, by the end of this sort of 25-minute talk, this section right now, we're going to give you a chance to pull out your white stone. So we're just setting the seed here so they can start in your subconscious. They can start letting whatever it is that needs to come up, start coming up and brewing in the background. And we'll give you a chance in about 20 minutes everybody has a pen and a white stone to write your new word or your new words that you want to inscribe on your stone in this tradition. But before I say any more, just to get an idea, I've asked 3 people to come up for a couple or so minutes to talk a little bit about their experience with the white stone from last year. And I think Jane is going to go first. Am I correct? Here she comes out of the booth. Thank you. You usually don't see her because she's back here turning knobs and making sure you can hear everybody. We'll have Jane and Melinda and then Jim.
Yes. So... Can you hear me now? Great. I'm out of the booth, Anyway, the word for my white stone last year was joy. And I kept my white stone on a bookshelf in my bedroom, so
I saw it when I got up in the morning, and I saw it when I went to bed. So it was like a bookend for me, for my day, just to kind of check in. And with that, I had a chance to kind of sharpen my spiritual practice tools. And one of them is just sharpening my awareness. Okay, let's just see, what joy am I going to find today? Where am I going to see joy? And just to bring that into my consciousness and just to be open to that. And it's kind of like, I'm sure many of you had this experience of a car, a make or a model has come into your awareness, and all of a sudden, you're seeing that car all over the place. Oh, there's that Ford, there's that, whatever you had come into your mind. You're seeing it all over the place. And that's what's wonderful about awareness. When you put your focus on something, you're going to start seeing it all over the place. And it was, for me, also, sometimes joy, you think about like joy to the world. It's like, woo, joy to the world. But also joy is that real calm, almost tingling, warm feeling that you get. So for me, it was like the delight, just driving to school in the winter morning and seeing the sun just kind of pop up over the edge of the mountain. Or going to work, I still work as a substitute teacher, so I see children. I get to experience and see the joy in their faces when they're learning, when they're outside playing, just that aha experience. And then, sometimes it's just having your pets around you. And you just have that pet next to you. And my kitty comes in the morning. I have to stand next to her bowl so she'll eat. And then I sit down and I settle myself down for my morning meditation, and she comes and sits on my lap while I meditate. And so that kind of warm sense of joy. And then I get to almost think about that and think, oh, okay, what is it that I'm feeling when I experience this? So I can begin to kind of cement it into my being. Oh, this is joy. This is what I feel when I have joy in my life. And then intention. I've been aware of it, and now I want to set the intention. This morning, how do I want to show up to the world today? How do I want to be? Well, joy. So just sit there and breathe and remembering those times that I recognized joy in my life and the feelings, that tingling warmth, just lightness. And then I set my intention. So I am joy. I'm the creator. I am joy. And let me bring light. Let me bring brightness to the people that I interact with for the day. And at the end of the day, I can sit back and say, joy to the world. That's my Whitestone experience.
I picked faith for mine because that's something I've struggled with my entire life. So I live in my head a lot, goal setting, to-do lists, as if I'm in control. At the same time, I'm overwhelmed by the lack of control that I have over life's circumstances. I knew I didn't have the faith that could bring me the calm in my life that I needed. I knew I was still faking it, hoping to make it so. Someone once said, "Don't tell God how big your problems are. Tell your problems how big your God is." That seemed impossible. I didn't have that kind of faith. Last year, I wrote the word faith on my rock during the white rock ceremony. I placed the rock on my altar at home, looked at it, reminded myself. And when I have a difficult situation, I would take it and put it in my pocket. Touching it was a great reminder that to have faith and that all things would work out for the good, the higher good. Through meditation and prayer, I get quiet and listen to the divine within. The quieter I get, the more I'm led to what is mine to do. This is an act of faith. I can let go of my control. Not that I don't grab for the reins, old habits die hard, but I trust in something bigger than me, something I can feel when I open my heart. And to be honest, I still have days when I'm overloaded by the chaos of the world, especially the suffering of loved ones. But my faith has grown over this year. It's a sensation, maybe even a knowing, and it provides me with a peace that goes far beyond my mental capacity to understand. I call that faith.
Good morning. So, rocks. I mean, I get to talk about rocks. And it was so nice to hear Frank talk about them being a symbol of freedom or liberation. Because for me, going out in the woods and walking a creek and finding a piece of jade just is an awesome experience. And then getting to carry it and have a relationship with it until it becomes polished and beautiful, and it just becomes like a touchstone in my life, and it reminds me of being on that creek every time I touch it. And there's a deep connection that I can't explain. I just enjoy it. Or getting a big block of Georgetown flint and letting it speak to me and then making something out of it, you know? And I get lost in that, and it's my freedom. It's my time. I find every day I have to do something that brings me a sense of zeal. This is my rock from last year, and it's my white stone. And Jonathan, our good friend, was talking a lot about zeal, and Charles Fillmore talking about zeal when he was in his 90s. And so Jane and I were out trying to find the white stones to use, and we went through a lot of things, and finally we found them. We're on the phone with Janae, and she goes, well, can you write on them? And so I picked it up, and the first thing that came out was zeal. Well, that wasn't really part of the ceremony. It was maybe my gestalt moment with the stone, which was important to me. But then during the ceremony, another word came to me, and that was importance. And so I put that on the other side of my stone. And this stone spoke to me all year. I carried it right here in this pocket where I pulled it out. That's where it lives. And I have a relationship with this stone. And I realized that searching for zeal, it was the things that were important in my life that gave me zeal. And of course, that started with prayer and meditation and yoga, exercise, good diet. And if I did those things right, I had more zeal. And then I realized if I met my personal obligations to myself or to others, that gave me more zeal. And if I didn't meet those, then my zeal was dampened. And so there became this whole balance of looking at how do I find zeal in my life? And it was by doing the things that had importance in my life. So this is a powerful ceremony. Let it speak to you. Thank you.
Had to have Jim with his rocks. But the ceremony made his vest just another pound heavier, I think. So I want to share just a little piece with you, and this comes from, and then after this we'll do our own work. And here's why, because I want you to think of this little piece, and it comes from the Gospel of Luke. from Scripture, the Gospel of Luke. And it's in chapter 9, and there's a bunch of pieces in chapter 9. And it all starts off with this sense of, and earlier on, Jesus is walking up, and he looks to the disciples, and he says, the son of Adam, or the child of Adam, if you will, is going up to Jerusalem, and metaphysically knows, going up to a high state of consciousness. And when he's there, the people who have a certain way of seeing the world are actually going to destroy this son of Adam, this child of humanity, and then the person will be transformed and raised in 3 days. And so the disciples, of course, said to him, huh? What? What does that mean? They had no idea what he was even talking about. And I want to suggest this, and this is a beautiful phrase, this thing. And if you look through the whole New Testament, this idea of the son of Adam, the child of Adam, which means humanity, is mentioned 80 times. 80 times. It's used over and over. And Scripture, the philosophers and the people, the academics who look at it goes, it doesn't make it in there 80 times unless that's pretty much historical. That was really the kind of language that we could really feel certain that Jesus would have used. This child of Adam, this person of humanity. And what you'll notice is there's other people throughout the whole Scriptures that might give him titles of Messiah or Son of God or this heightened title. But for Jesus himself, he used I am, or you can see that, and he referencing himself and also referencing us, that we are what they used the song, a child of the universe, a person of humanity, the fullness of humanity. And I've played around with, well, that also could be a person who's awakened, or a person who's had some kind of new revelation, and all these other things. But what I came down to, and at least from my thoughts about this today, and it was so funny because Melinda and Jane, and they said the same thing. It's the person who pays attention. It's the person who is going, what's next? What's on the other side? We live in this place, and we often call Jesus, there's this sort of title, it's Jesus Christ, and that's not a last name, right? It's Jesus, this human being who also had a heightened sense of his connectivity to the fullness of who he was as this also divine entity, the divinity, the next stages of our conscious evolution, the Christic space that lies just over this liminal space that we can connect to, we can reach out, and we can feel that. How do we know we feel it? It's like the sense of oh, there it is. It's like and for introverted people, we oftentimes feel it in the silence, in our meditation, in our journaling, in that quiet place, in the stillness, in Shari's meditation. You get to that place where you sink in. And for those of us more spiritually introverted, we go, there it is. There it is. It's that human that's paying attention, that's aware, that's awake, and you go, that's that connection. There's that place that draws me from a state of my physicality as a human to my spirituality, my divine essence as a human, both parts of us alive at once. And for the more extroverted person, maybe who's an aware and awakened person, you find it in serving someone who's hungry, or being served by someone else when we're hungry, whether that's physically or emotionally or mentally or whatever. When we're of service to others, or we feel being supported by someone else. And not only that, sometimes you're in the room and you're watching this person being of service and loving the other person, and you feel it is the same. And then when you feel that, here's what I'm trying to say. You go, and you stop and you go, there it is. You know it, right? No, give me a no. You know what I'm talking about, right? This place of connectivity, this place where I finally connected to that energy, where there's this liminal, this physicality that's easy to live just on the physical plane, and yet it doesn't take much to see there's this liminal place, this place we cross over and we step into. We live in both places at once, and we go, there it is. There's the aliveness through the liminal zone, the truth of both sides of us. And in Unity, we talk about this idea of Jesus, right? A human being who walked the earth, and he was physical, and we have historical documentation that this person existed, and we can talk about and we can do a historical critical evaluation of Scripture, and we can see what did it mean critically, what did it mean for the time, and sociologically and economically, and what was that all about, and that is really beautiful. And in Unity, though, we also have this sense of the Jesus Christ, the person who both lived on the physical plane and had a heightened sense also of the truth of our humanity, that we live and can live in both places. And I try to split it up like it's two different places, but it's all one. It's the truth of our wholeness, of our oneness, that we have the spiritual sense of who we are as physical beings, both at once. And that's that sense of the both energy. And when Jesus talks about himself, he says, you're a child of humanity. It's not, and that means we're the fullness of both of those. That's who we are that's our birthright. That's who we are in our entity. We live in this spiritual world, and we look through the liminal space. And when we look at the white stone, I mean, you can look at it and go, what am I going to figure out rationally? What's a good word? Let me think. And that's what we want to do is in this white stone, we want to sink down for a minute. We want to get into that place of like, I'm open to the connectivity that I am part. I am this human that's paying attention. I'm this son of God. I'm this child of Adam. I'm the child of humanity. I'm a son and daughter, and I am an offspring of the entire opening of the evolving spiritual consciousness of the world. And I'm open to the next stage of consciousness for my life that I am now going to try to capture in one word on a rock, which is kind of daunting maybe, but it can be one piece of this opening and awareness to what's possible, and we can ask for it, and we can open it. We can open to it. There's a story, and I'm sticking with Luke 9, and later it goes along, and Jesus, it says, is walking along the road, and someone yells out, Master, Master, I am going to follow you. And he looks, he says, oh, are you? Well, foxes have dens, and birds have nests, but this child of Adam, this awakened human, has nowhere to lay their head. Now, physically, on the physical plane, you could look at that and say, well, maybe that does sort of look like the life that Jesus and the disciples were. And at the time, there's lots of Greek cynics. There was different groups, sort of monastic, sort of monkish. They'd walk along, with a staff and a robe, and they would beg, and they were very, very simple. And this sort of thread of a sort of ascetic spirituality has gone through lots of traditions. Through all the big major spiritual traditions have always had this kind of thinking. But that's thinking just on the sense if we just want to read it historically. But what can we make of it if we look at the sense of we take a metaphysical turn and say, well, wait a second, what else is going on in that stage? Birds, these animals have a place to live, and the birds have a place to live, but you human being who's open to the potentiality and can be paying attention and can be awake, pay attention to the wake of whatever place you think you live now. Be ready to move into another place. Don't say, this is where I'm at, this is what I believe, I don't want to believe anything else, this is my state of consciousness, and that's it. We want to stay open and fluid to this constantly evolving potentiality of consciousness in our lives, that we can open to new stages of awareness and the next stage for our development, the next stage for our transformation. And the next stage for our transformation, this human of humanity is going up to Jerusalem to a higher state of consciousness where the old thoughts are going to try to kill, and it's like you can try, but then later a new stage of consciousness awakens. And here's another interesting piece of this, which, just as a side, which I love about this, is someone says, Master, Master, I want to follow you. Well, the very next stage in the story is then Jesus turns to someone and he looks at the person. He says, you follow me. And he says, oh, great, I'll do it. But I first need to go bury my father, which makes sense if there had to be a ritual done and this person had a parent he wanted to take care of. And Jesus says something, it's so fascinating. He goes, yeah, well, the dead can bury the dead. You announce the imperial realm of the divine. And it's shocking to people when they heard it. Because well, you can't, on one level, you can't just, you got to take care of your family and take care of, this is a really important ritual to go bury a parent if that's what's needed. And so on one level, you kind of go, man, that was kind of harsh. That was a shocking thing. That's why we know that it was probably true that Jesus said it, because this is typical. It's a shocking thing. Well, that doesn't make sense. But you have to take the leap and the turn and realize that we're talking on a level of consciousness that's looking at a thing a little bit different, Let the dead bury their dead. Your job is to announce this divine, this imperial rule. Let the levels of consciousness that are ready to be done, let 2022, whatever it was, let that go. Let's not sit here and keep ruminating about, well, you wouldn't believe what happened in 2022, 2012, 1982. Go back as far as you want, and we're still upset about it. Let it go. Let the dead bury their dead. Your job is to announce this imperial rule of this vine, this new awakening of potentiality and consciousness that's coming upon us. That's what's ours to do. It's to awaken what's possible in the new. And then finally, the very next line is someone says, again, now the first person says, I want to follow you. The second person says, Jesus says, you follow me. And the third one's another one again, and he goes, hey, I'm going to follow you. And Jesus kind of looks at, yeah. And he goes, yeah, well, first I need to go home and say goodbye to everyone. And he says, if you're plowing a field and you keep looking back, well, you know what's going to happen. It doesn't work. He goes, you won't really feel into and experience the fullness of this imperial rule, this divine realm, this new awakened level of consciousness that's just coming at you. It says you won't be able to dive in and swim in this ocean of possibility and this newness and this movement and evolution of consciousness if you're constantly looking back. And I think in terms of, well, we look back, and it's almost, and it's this in a way that we're not saying that looking in past or looking in future. And I think about people who do really important work and maybe things that happened in their past and they're doing, therapy or just looking at what their histories are. That's not the point here. That's sacred. That's good. That's transformative. That is the point of deal with it, and then we can move on. And we can move on to what's next, and we can move on to new states of consciousness. Don't spend so much time, I want to go, but I got to keep focusing. I want to go, but I got to keep doing it. And I want to go, but I got to keep focusing on this old stuff. And we can't, we need to deal with it in a healthy, appropriate way so that we can move forward and keep going. And here's another interesting thing about this whole story from Luke. And I'm talking fast because I'm looking at the clock, and I know we want to do rocks. Is that the whole time, listen to, it's so beautiful. Every one of these people, it says, come follow me. Master, I want to follow you. This isn't a language of worship. It isn't, I want to make you it. I want to see you, Jesus Christ, Christ energy, the metaphysical turn. All these people are me, and all these people are you. Every one of these people is you, including the Jesus, including the Christ element, the I am spirit, the divine energy that is the truth of our nature. It's all me. It's all you. This is an internal language that's happening, and there's this calling, this constant, and we feel it. There's this urgency, this I just want to move this way. I want to be connected. And when we connect, we go, oh, that's so sweet. I want it deeper. I want it more. I want to keep going. And we feel this. We just want to keep going in this connection, right? And so how do we do this? We follow. Follow the path. Follow this truth. And this Jesus person, as a way shower, as a master teacher, says, follow me. Stop, follow me. See where I'm going? Don't stop looking at me. See where we're all going. Don't get up. Don't keep staring at me. All of us, see where we're going? Follow me. We're all going together this way. This is the direction. There's this unfolding realm of the divine, this kingdom of God, this divine imperial rule, this new place of consciousness, this place in the world that has a whole nother sense of how we can live as human beings and keep growing this, and it's an evolution of consciousness. Let the dead bury their dead. Go on to the new. Don't think that I've gotten there and I'm staying. It's like a fox who has a hole. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep transforming. It's exciting. It's a New Year scripture. It's like time to go on. Time for an evolution, a turning, and seeing that liminal space and not being threatened by it, but be willing to push through into a new level of awakened awareness. And what's coming? This is exciting. Like, what's coming for me in the next year? What's coming? How do we push through? How do we, and not even push through. I don't even think it should be that much work. It's almost like how do we flow through? How do we feel like, there it is. I'm in, sometimes it's like, I had a talk with someone the other day. It said, I need to go downstream. This was my very first talk we ever did here, even 2 years ago. Everything we want is downstream. Everything you want is not when we're like, I'm going to keep fighting and try to make it happen. I'm going to force my will upon it. It's like, there it is. There's this level of consciousness. There's the divine flow. Now I feel it. Now I'm resonating with it. Now I just go downstream with a little more ease. Oh, sure, I'm still bumping into the shore and going over rocks in the kayak, but I'm going downstream. I'm not working so hard. Just get aligned. Get aligned by paying attention. This is my word, this whole son of man, son of Adam, child of the universe. It's like the human being who's attentive to where the flow is going and getting in that flow and going with it. And when you get it, you say this great word. You go, there it is. There it is. And you know it. You know it because you just feel it. So now I want you to grab your white stone or brown stone or whatever stone you have, and you should have a marker. Everyone needs to have one of these too. And what I want is to invite you in first. Hold it in your hand, your mark in your hand, and maybe even almost got a word. But what I'm going to ask is, here, let me just, before you write anything, just maybe close your eyes for just a moment, and then we're going to lead you in, and Diane's going to play some piano music. But take a breath. And with your white stone in hand, be fully opened and attentive and aware and receptive to what is flowing in from divine, that's flowing through you, as you, in you, evolving in consciousness through you, that allows you to have a new level of awakened awareness, awakened connection, awakened place where you show up as you and in the most fullness of who you are for this time and this place, trusting in the divine flow and that divine energy that will lead you on to the next imperfect year or further. What word or what words, maybe a couple, three, or even what name comes to you? And just sit there with your stone and let it come. And when it comes, feel free to write it down. And if you're like me, every year I do this, I go, what? What? Or maybe it makes full sense to you, or maybe you wrote something down and it's going to take a year to unfold and see what that meant or what it means, and it's all good. And if you didn't come up with just the word, if you're not feeling like I got it yet, that's okay. Take your time and take your rock with you, and you can fill it out later today. Or your spirit moves as spirit moves. We can't force anything. So, okay. And I'm so curious as to what this means. And remember, some of you who've written it down, I'm going to ask you next year to do what Melinda and Jane and Jim did this year, so hold on to it. We'll see what happens. Okay? Sounds good.
Oh, I love this process. One reminder, when you're done and we're through with service today, you can put your pens back on the table for us. That'll help a little bit. And next we will be having a song with Quiet Fire. Or actually what we're going to do, is we're going to do the offering. Sorry, I'm still thinking about my stone. Okay, be here, be now. Okay, so let's see. I'll get myself together here. So we'll go ahead and take your gift, your offering in your hand. You can bring it to your heart too. And we'll say our offertory blessing together. I give freely and joyfully, for God is my source, and I have abundance in all areas of my life. And our offering is divine love through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And now is music.
Oh, had I a golden thread and a needle so fine, I would weave a tapestry of rainbow design, of rainbow design, rainbow design. In it, I would weave the courage of women giving birth. In it, I would weave the innocence of the children of all the earth. Oh, children of all the earth, all the earth. Won't you show my brothers and sisters my rainbow design? 'Cause I wanna light up the world with hand and heart and mind. Yeah, hand and heart and mind. Heart and mind. Oh, had I a golden thread and a needle so fine, I would weave a tapestry of rainbow design, of rainbow design, rainbow design, rainbow design.
bless these gifts with so much gratitude. And we know we scoop, as Wayne Dyer said, we scoop abundance from abundance, and yet abundance still remains. And we live in this abundant world, and we're so grateful for all here and all joining us online for sharing from their abundance and affirming for you that your abundance still remains. And let these gifts go forward and bless unity of Bellingham, unity worldwide, and for peace on our planet. Okay. And a few announcements. Right after service, Melinda we're still going to do it. We're leading a vision board for the next year. And we did this last year, and I still have mine up right by my bed. So, so if you want to be able to, after you have something to eat, stay around. We'll set up some tables over here, and we'll have a vision board process for 2023 led by Melinda. And what's the love offering? It's, I think, 20, what you said? Yeah, if you'd like to support with materials and stuff. So, also, anyone who's interested in the Multi-Faith Network for Climate Justice, every third Monday, and so the next time it's not going to be live, it's going to be on Zoom, so I can get you that Zoom information. So let me know if you want to attend the Multi-Faith Network for Climate Justice. It's a beautiful interfaith project that goes on in Whatcom County, and I like to attend. I know some of you others do as well, and I'll get you that Zoom information. Also, we're having a new members class. It'll be our first class of the year. It starts in February 22nd, and then it goes through March. And it's going to be 4 Wednesdays in a row. Now, I want to mention that if you want to be a member, if you're not officially a member, this is the way to come take the class, and even if you can't make all of them, we just want you to come and get this information, and that will allow someone to be a member. But even if you are a member and you haven't done this particular kind of work through, kind of a very Unity Basics course, and you want to come enjoy it, you're still welcome to come. It's going to be taught, one session will be by Janae, which is a lot about unity of Bellingham. And this year, 2 of the sessions, we use a book called Lessons in Truth. It's it's the very first book that Unity put out. People kept asking the founders, Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, would you please write a book and tell us what Unity is? But they weren't at a place yet where they felt like they could do it. So they asked Emily Cady, one of their teachers, would you please write us a book so we can tell everyone what Unity is about? This book is over 100 years old. She wrote it in chapters that went into Unity magazine, and now it's compiled, and it's not going to be taught by me. It's actually going to be taught by Diane and Melinda, who, if I can share, took the class last year and liked the book so much that they've spent lots of time over the last year getting into the book and teasing out different aspects of it and different learning parts. And I just love to see what they learned from the book last year. So they're going to lead the class for this year for 2 of the classes. And then another 2 of the classes will be led by me, and we'll be talking about scripture and unity metaphysics and unity principles and other things. So if that sounds interesting to you, because it'll be fun and a lot of discussion, a lot of breaking down unity. We call it a new members class. It's also a Unity Basics class, February 22nd, and then through March, and the sign-up sheet is in the foyer. Another thing is, we have our little tree of life back here, our papier-mâché tree on the wall, and we've put different things on it over the year, leaves and owls and snowflakes, all this stuff. But what we're doing now is on the back table, there's some nice winter snowflakes. And if you would be willing, as you go out, to write your word, not your name, we don't need to know whose word belongs to who, but just write your word or your words that you put on your white stone on a snowflake, and then we'll just put them all up. It'll be really fascinating. We can encourage and pray for each other for whatever words came up by just putting them on these little pieces of snowflake on the table back there, okay? So just stop by on your way out and fill one out, if you'd be so kind. Not mandatory, but we'd love to see it. So, and then finally, our chaplain today is LM, and we're going to be in this room. And is the new room all? I haven't been in there, but they said to look in. Is it good? Okay, so I'm going to look in too. Our chaplain room is the second door over here to the left. We're not using this room anymore. And on the right, the door on the right. And come check out the new chaplain room and have a prayer. And LM will be our chaplain for today. And finally, I want to thank Quiet Fire for being here. You guys always, it's so wonderful to have you. And Jim, Jane, and Jay Scott, who are always, working away in the back. Chaplain. Aaron for the lights. Shari for being the podium today. And for everybody, whoever got the white stones for us? That's Janae. Thank you, Janae, for finding the white stones. That is, you would think, It's not like you can go to Amazon and just go, I'll take white stones. I mean, you actually have to look around for these things. So it was a bit of work. And for Marilyn and Harvey, who week after week bring apple pie, man, we make the coffee. Thank you so much. And for all of you who have joined us online, just for your presence and for being here and joining us, we bless you and we appreciate you for joining us. Okay? All right, that's it.
Please stand for Go Out and Shine. Yeah.
One, two, three, four. Go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Step out and take a chance. Walk the talk, join the dance. Relax and enjoy the ride. Let kindness be your guide. You gotta go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. One voice, one hand, one heart. Wanna change, make a start. We're one big family. What's good for you is good for me. Come on and go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Go out and shine.
Oh, that's awesome. We've come to the end of our service, and so we're going to say our prayer for protection, and let's include everyone, everywhere. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And if you'd like to make a circle, and we'll sing I Choose Love, you can hold hands or hover hands, whatever you feel good with.
Tell me when to start, Marcia.
Go ahead. They'll get it.
1, 2, 3. Peace in my life is going because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one tie that binds us that can't be undone. I choose love. I choose love. Peace in my family is growing because I choose love. Let love be present is what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one loving family, sharing one son. I choose
what we're made